Please welcome the fantastically handsome Jeffrey Strock.
Thanks, Dave. Let me crack this fresh LaCroix. I drink a shit ton of these, you know, like I just hit myself in the mouth. I drink a shitload of these LaCroix. I've been sober for 177 days. Thank you. It's the problem with mentally ill people, though, that you think that the next thing that you're going to take care of is going to fix all your problems. That's not the case. Getting sober fixed nothing. Turns out I'm a piece of shit. So my upstairs neighbors cannot tell that I've been sober because I drink a shit ton of cans of LaCroix. You know, like I just imagine every time around noon it's like, oh, it must be noon. I hear the sound of 1,000 cans getting dragged out to the corner by a very sad-looking man. Good for him, yeah. I'm wearing a hat because I am bald under here. I'm bald underneath my hat. So when I don't wear a hat, it looks like my favorite movie is the first 15 minutes of American History X. It's really uncomfortable. I grew up in Montana, so I also wear a hat over my bald head. Because if I see another bald man from a distance, and he gets closer, he's like, how's it going, brother? And I'm like, oh, not that kind of brother. No. Go back to Idaho with your weird Viking cult. I don't want no part of it. I'm actually gonna put this back on. I feel very weird without it. It's fine. It's fine. Another comic let the cat out of the bag that I concealed carry earlier. Yeah, I always keep that MF Beyblade on me. Real glad that was said. It's fine though. It's fine. It's okay. I always like to start out my comedy sets by giving some inspirational words. I'd like to inspire people to do comedy, and this first quote that got me into it to try harder. I kept my flies up. I just had to check. This first quote is by Thomas Edison. He said, "Inventing the light bulb was only half the battle. Now I have to make one that doesn't break inside my ass." Don't look that up. I'm really tired of Marilyn Manson getting credit for being the first person to remove a rib so he could suck his own dick when it was actually Adam. That was a Bible joke. Based on the reaction, a lot of you are going to heaven, so I will not see you there. I actually have a pretty good another Bible joke. I find it hard to believe that 3 wise men traveled across the world to stay in a 1-star hotel. Hey. That one's good because it does well in bars and Bible camp, which I am not allowed back at. I was reading on Wikipedia, in South Korea, there's this thing where they believe that you can die if you leave the fan on all night in your room, because they think that it uses up all the air. Turns out the South Korean government was lying to people. They didn't have enough power to go around, and so they just told people, don't use your fans, And I was reading this, and I'm like, this has nothing to do with Harry Potter having sex with Malfoy. This is the wrong kind of fan fiction, hey? Boom. I want to die all the time. I don't give a fuck. Oh, Jesus, that might have been too real. There's going to be a lot of those kind of jokes, so that's what I've been thinking about a lot. I grew up in Bozeman. Anybody else born and raised in Montana? Congratulations, if you're white, your ancestors were pieces of shit. So I went home, my uncle passed away last year, and I didn't really know him. because we didn't talk about mental illness and he had schizophrenia, so I didn't even really know that I had an uncle. But I went home. Fort Benton, Montana, highly fucking racist. Like there's like low-key mention of like a little bit of genocide of Native Americans, and then like the only monument in the city is of a dog that used to wait for trains. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we're digging the right parts here. This is... Sorry, I shouldn't talk about it. Seeing Bozeman changing is kind of hard, you know? I think all the Subarus are kind of getting pushed out by Teslas. You've seen the progression, you know? And then you see them stop downtown and you see a woman with fry boots get out, you know? And then our 3 golden doodles, Bridger, the first, second, and third, try to escape, you know? And then she pushes him in with her yoga mat and he's like, now get the fuck back in there. You're just here to make me look loco. That's fine. I'm gonna make a board game about Bozeman and how it's changing. It's gonna be called Shitty Millennial Monopoly. Every time you pass go, you get nothing, rent goes up by 10%, and then you die. That's the best part! It's dying! Oh. I cannot wait. Fuck, I'm trying not to be too depressing, but like... I saw this news article, it was like, will millennials be the first generation not to die? I'm like, please don't take this from me. If I don't die, I might have to pay back my student loans. I'm not prepared to do that. My credit is so low. The last time somebody tried to steal my identity, they reached out to see if I was okay. How you doing, buddy? It was a waste of a lot of privilege. I've been telling that joke for a little bit, and 2 things have happened. The first thing is Walmart made an actual game called Millennial Monopoly. Has anybody seen this? Yeah. Like the game says like, oh, you don't buy property, you collect experiences. We are so fucked. It's like, forget real estate, you can't afford it. It's like on the back, I'm like, fuck, all right. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, actually, and then I got a call from my bank, and they're like, hey, you had a charge from Chicago. Did you buy $80 worth of Burger King in Chicago? And I'm like, sounds like me. But no, I was not in Chicago. They're like, don't worry, the credit card got declined. I'm like, sounds like me. Thanks. I almost didn't pick up. But I'm fucking glad I did. I've been working out a lot, eating healthy since about the beginning of December, because somebody told me that if you work out and you eat well, it makes, like, it cures your depression. The guy's a fucking liar. And I'm like, I'm pissed about it. Cause when I tell everybody, I'm like, oh, I'm working out, like I'm taking care of myself, you know, like I know what they're thinking is like, go fuck yourself. Like, what gives you the right to try to be happy? Like, look at the rest of us. Like, come on. This is a misery pile, and you're on it too. Fuck you. And then like, I don't know. But like now, I want to go up to this guy and like I just want to grab him and I'm like, hey, do you see what you created? Like, I'm now sad and strong. I'm like Frankenstein's monster if you like trap music. You know, like it just fucking sucks. Like now, you know, I'm trying to get a pulley system with a rope, trying to pull myself up, you know, like. I'm not going to rely on tree strength. I got the strength inside. Oh. It's going to be more suicide jokes. You guys see in the news, I can't stop thinking about this, did you see this language pathologist got a language board for her dog so it can speak English? Have you seen the video? Like, I was so excited when I read the highlight and like the headline. I'm just like, oh shit, like that's cool. The dog can speak. What is it gonna say? And it's just like, I like the beach. I'm like, wow. else you got there, Sparky? I was like, I like fetch, it's fun. Great, that was a waste of a lot of money and time. Jesus, and like when you can't afford the cancer treatments for the dog, it's just gonna be like, ouch! 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 It's fucked up. I have a lot of dreams that I tell my therapist about, so here's a few. I'm just gonna throw it out there. So like there's this one that I have, and this has like happened a few times. There's two women. One is the perfect one for me, just like just like everything I could have ever wanted, And the second one wants to kill me, and I have a hard time choosing between. Okay, cool. I'm kind of coming to the realization maybe they're both kind of perfect. And then. I have this other one that like keeps on happening too, where I wake up and I'm in a really hot body, just like real hot. Like if I saw myself in the mirror, I'm just like, I don't want to talk to that person. I can't look too much, like that kind of hot, And then like I go up to talk to another hot person, and then I start talking about Star Trek, and she takes out a whistle, she starts blowing it. She's like, ugly person in a hot person's body, ugly person in a hot person's body. Great. I love Star Trek. I'm single, which is great, because I can watch all the Star Trek I want. It also sucks because I can watch all the Star Trek that I want. There is so much goddamn Star Trek out there, it's ruining my life. I found there's no better form of birth control than when you're about to put on a condom, you're like, shields up! Being single is great. I don't have to be ashamed of the fleshlight that I bought with my parents' Christmas money. Fleshlights are great. Every man should get one. Teaches you that cleanup is your work too. Hashtag called out. Fuck off. I'm a good ally. I had this Halloween where I was kind of lazy, so I got like a foxtail and fox ears, And then after Halloween, like I didn't know where to put it, so the only place I had was the drawer with the fleshlight. So what I'm saying is I could never die. Although the cops think a lot of things about me, but not that I was a furry. That's pretty good. Also, fleshlights are pretty cool because you can whip them around like those sticky hands in the 90s. Just the day after I found that out, my roommate sent me a text. He's like, "Hey, why does it look like Jabba the Hutt kissed the mirror?" On a slightly related note, I had to uninstall Tinder because I couldn't figure out how to turn down the difficulty settings. So, I think I got like two more. I don't know how long I've been going. I don't ski or snowboard, which is weird. Who else is like that here? Yeah, there are dozens of us. Live here. People, every time I tell people at the fucking co-op, it's like, oh, I don't ski or snowboard. It's like, huh, not from here, huh? I was like, born, mother, like born here. Get out. No, but the first and last time I went snowboarding, I broke both my arms at the same time. It's a true story. And it was in the 8th grade, and I still found it difficult, but not impossible, to still masturbate 17 times a day. On Vicodin. So, I believe that the human spirit can do anything that you put your mind to. But they gave me above the elbow cast, and I figure out really quick why C-3PO is so uptight, But one time I was on the couch watching TV, and the remote was a little bit too far away. I was making things work as best as I could, and I was about to hit the tipping point. Right when, this is a true story, on the TV comes an infomercial for 9/11 commemorative plates. And I did not stop, because that is how the terrorists win. God. Okay, so this is like my most, you're like, yeah, that's bad. All right. You guys ever think that Jesus was into BDSM? We just don't know it? I think about this a lot, because like, if you read the story of the crucifixion, Jesus was whipped a lot and he took it really well. You know what I'm saying? This is not going super well. But I don't know, I just kind of think that there's some things in the Bible that maybe was said that wasn't written down. I just have to wonder, you know, like, if like Jesus got the nails into his hands and feet, and he's like, oh yes, harder, daddy. His priests are like, I'm not gonna write that down. How about forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. It's more his speed. You know, the crucifixion is winding down, he gets a spear into his side, he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna come again. His disciples like, I'm not gonna write that down either, but if nothing happens, like 2 or 3 days, we'll figure it out. Alright, hey, I'm Jeffrey Strock, y'all. Have a good night.